Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Highly Debatable Sports Show. My name is Jacob Lindroth, and my partner today is Matthew Wright. He's a Nets fan, by the way.
Yeah, I'm a Nets fan, by the way.
Don't believe anything he tells you. All right. So
I am a Nets fan, by the way. I mean, I am. I root for the Nets, but I also love Jimmy Buckets, and it's hard to root against him, you know. Such a good story. So, today we got a great episode. We are going to start off with predictions for tonight. We're going to go into what's up with the NFL, what's going on. And then for the first time ever, I'll be talking a little bit about the NBA here on the podcast. Now, Adam and Lenny has talked about the NBA a couple times on the podcast, and we'll get into a little bit of that here in a little bit. So, without further ado, predictions for tonight. Lenny, do you want to go first? Or do you want me to go first?
I'll go ahead.
All right, man.
I can't choose against Geno Smith. I don't have it within me to not root for the guy.
Can't bet against the West Virginia boy.
He's my favorite West Virginia quarterback of all time. That might strike a lot of people oddly because we've.
Why
seen
not
Pat
Will
White.
Greer?
Geno Smith. I just have the best memories of watching him.
Yeah,
Him, Tavon Austin, Stedman Bailey, probably my favorite trio.
that was a nice squad. Nice squad.
Yep. But tonight I've got the Seahawks coming out on top, 18-13.
Wow, really low score game.
Yep.
You don't have any faith in the Saints?
It's not that I don't have any faith in the Saints. It's just like I feel like they struggle against mediocre teams, and the Seahawks are a little bit above mediocre in my opinion. So
No,
we'll
their
see how
defense
that
is
goes.
awful. Their defense is like one of the worst defenses in the NFL.
It is, but they have. I don't know. I don't know what the problem is. Maybe Jamal Adams. I don't know.
I don't think Jamal Adams is a problem.
He's not. He just doesn't. I think he's overrated.
I also don't think he's overrated. I just personally think
I think
that
he's
he
very
has
overrated.
to be more of a leader on that defense. But I also have the Seahawks just because, you know, they're my other team other than the Browns. So I got to root for them. But I'm nervous. I don't really have any confidence in the Seahawks tonight. I'm rooting for them, and I want them to win because they are, of course, my other team. But, I mean, I think Jameis will do fine. I think he'll actually have a pretty mediocre night.
Yeah.
So I think he'll be the Jameis Winston that he was on the Buccaneers, like just under the radar, having an okay game, nothing spectacular like he did his first game this season where he had like 5 touchdowns.
And 123 yards.
Crossing my fingers that they play well. But other than that, I mean, the Seahawks still have a very good offense, okay? Even if Chris Carson, who I don't think is playing this week, doesn't play and Alex Collins does, Alex Collins has put up very good numbers, and he's ran the ball very well in place of Chris Carson. I also think that Tyler Lockett, Geno Smith can throw the ball. I mean, he threw bombs down the field to Tavon Austin all the time. And Tavon Austin is just like a Tyler Lockett. So I think that since they still have Tyler Lockett, I think the deep ball is still there. I think you just have to give Geno time. And that's one thing that this offense doesn't have is a line that can give Geno time. I think Geno will play better than he actually played against the Steelers. I think he played well against the Steelers. That's his first start in a long time. But I think he'll play even better tonight. And then you have the most monstrous wide receiver in the NFL on your team. He's almost as big as you, Lenny. He's huge.
Besides Daniel Jones, he's
okay. Daniel Jones is all right.
Best receiver in the league.
Yeah, okay. That means hey, if he's the best receiver in the league, then Derrick Henry's the best quarterback in the league.
Yeah.
They're both
100%.
100%.
Perspective though, DK Metcalf is a solid, probably inch taller than me, and about 30 pounds more of just straight muscle.
Just straight muscle. That man has like a 12-pack.
It's scary, yeah.
He's scary. But I think since they still have their weapons, and Geno's good. Like Geno's not a bad quarterback. I think they'll be fine. So I got Seahawks winning. in a better fashion than you do.
Does Jamal Adams get a pick tonight?
No, it'll bounce off the front of his helmet again.
I think he gets one. I think he finally gets one. Blitz Boy finally gets a pick.
No.
National headlines.
No, I don't think so. I don't think the Seahawks will have a single turnover.
You better knock on wood, man.
I genuinely don't. See, I don't have confidence in the defense. I have great confidence in that offense. That offense is great when they have time to throw or when Russell's at the quarterback position and he can extend plays.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, the Seahawks aren't looking great. But I'm still gonna pick them, and I'm gonna pick them in a game that is pretty close. There are a lot of defense, even though the defenses aren't both that great, and the offenses both at times can be very flashy. I'm gonna go 27-17, 10-point game.
That's a good prediction.
And I got Seahawks. So anything can happen. It's also, I'm pretty sure, at Seattle, which is a hard place to play. Great environment if you are the Seahawks. I mean, it's great to play at home anywhere, but I just feel like that field in general, it's just something special. So I think the Seahawks get it done at home. If not, I mean, they're going to be at the bottom of their division with the 49ers. And we thought that would be a really tough division this year. And I mean, it's still a tough division. I mean, it's still a pretty hard place to play. I mean, if you look at Arizona and then the Rams, I mean, they're up there. But like those bottom two teams, they're still good. I mean, they're still hard teams to play. But I don't think that the 49ers or the Seahawks are playing up to the expectations that we had for them.
Not a chance.
No. But what's up with the NFL? So the first thing I want to say is, what's up with your Panthers? That's one thing that I wanted to bring up this week, man. Look at him sit back over there.
Oh, man. What's up with the Panthers? I said it last week and the week before that. They competed against the Cowboys, who a lot of people are saying is a top 5 team in the league.
And of course, ESPN is saying, are they contenders? Are they Super Bowl contenders? And they say that every year, even last year when they were 7-9.
The Panthers compete. Okay.
They didn't yesterday.
With every team they play, they've competed this year. Yesterday, I don't know what it is. I honestly think it boils down to play calling, in my opinion, because earlier on in the season, when the Panthers were being successful and they were having success, high-scoring games, beating their opponents, they were taking shots down the field. They were running some just misdirection plays, opening up the playbook for Sam Darnold, having faith in his arm. And yesterday they didn't. I think he threw like 11 for 16.
He had an awful game, and they benched him at one point.
And that's not an awful game though. 11 for 16. If you like multiply that, that's 22 for 30, like 32 or something like that. And that's really not terrible. But when you're not giving your quarterback the chance to throw the ball, to make a play, to have that trust in his arm.
Yeah.
And they did it yesterday. I think he averaged less than 10 yards per completion.
Wow.
And they just aren't giving him a chance. And without McCaffrey, they're just I mean, they're just hung out to dry.
So one thing I noticed in that game yesterday is something that we've been saying about the Titans, but if it's really anybody, it's the Panthers. Like we said that the Titans offense is just completely Derrick Henry and they use him as a cop out. Yeah. And for the last 2 weeks, we've seen that that's not true. I mean, Derrick Henry is the best running back so far in the NFL.
Oh yeah.
And
easily.
I personally think he's in the conversation of MVP.
Again, yeah.
And we were like, yeah, I mean, that offense is just Derrick Henry. That offense is just Derrick Henry. But honestly, like, it just has taken Ryan Tannehill to kind of like get a spark underneath him because he played phenomenal yesterday.
Yeah.
And he finally has a rhythm with Julio Jones.
Yeah.
And they're getting a connection. And then A.J. Brown is still a wonderful wide receiver. So I'm not really saying that offense is Derrick Henry anymore. But I mean, you're going to utilize your best player as much as possible. But I don't think it's as much as a cop-out anymore like it was for the Panthers. I feel like the Panthers, all those games that they put up big numbers, also look at the carries that McCaffrey had, and then you'll see why they were winning and putting up so many points.
Yeah, but to an extent though, you have to utilize a guy like McCaffrey,
Mm-hmm.
and when you don't have him in your game plan, who are you gonna who are you gonna use? Like, who's the defense gonna focus on? Because when McCaffrey's on that field, everybody's worried about what McCaffrey's gonna do. What routes he gonna
Sure.
run? Is he gonna run the ball? Are they gonna put him on a route? What are they gonna do? And they're so worried about that that it gets other receivers open down the field. And it's the same thing with the Titans. When Derrick Henry's on the field, you run it up the middle with Derrick Henry once, it's second and short. Everybody expects another run, but then you run a play action and hit Julio Jones over the middle. And that's just classic football. It's smart coaching. But without a player like that, I mean, every team has that player that the defense is going to focus more on than others.
True.
For the Saints, it's Kamara, and that's I think that's also why the Bucks have a lot of success is because they have 3 or 4 different receivers that the defense
It
has to
has to
pick one
focus
to
on.
double team.
Yeah.
So it just boils down to play calling for the Panthers, in
Mm-hmm.
my opinion. I mean, when you don't have your MVP caliber offensive superstar, then I mean
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be hard to win games.
Yeah. MVP superstar ability. What's up with Jamar Chase?
He's not MVP level, but he is right now. He
Rookie
is
of
a
the
top
year.
five. He's a top 5 receiver in the league
Oh
this
well,
season.
he's number 2 or number 3 for most yards so far this
Yeah,
year.
I think it goes Cooper Cup at 1 still to
No,
this day.
it's Devonte Adams is number 1.
No, I'm saying like it in terms of everything. Cooper Cup
Oh,
is
okay, okay, okay.
hands down
Yeah,
probably right
that's
now is
yeah.
playing the best. And
But
Devontae, and then probably Jamar Chase after
yeah,
Devontae Adams. But
so a stat came out today at around 2 o'clock, and Jamar Chase, why he's one of the what's up, is he is the only rookie wide receiver ever to have 7 straight touchdowns in 7 straight games. The first ever to do it.
I saw that.
Isn't that amazing?
It is.
I think that he is going to be insanely special. Him and Joe Burrow. And really, that this shouldn't even just be a what's up with Jamar Chase. It should be a what's up with the Bengals. Absolutely
Day.
put
Who
who
day?
day 41-17. And Joe Cool, your man, threw 416 yards yesterday.
Yep.
What
Against a very talented Ravens defense, a
very
very
talented.
fast and electric defense.
Uzama stiff armed and just
Yep.
completely took Marvin Humphreys and just
2
pushed him off him.
touchdowns. I mean, they're saying he's the best, one of the best tight ends in the league right now.
I'm gonna ask you a question, okay?
Yeah.
Do you think the Bengals have a chance of winning the AFC North?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Do you think they'll beat the Browns?
Yeah.
You think they'll beat the Browns?
Once they play twice, I'm pretty sure, right?
They do. Yeah,
So
we play everybody in the AFC North twice.
I think if the Browns get healthy
Mm-hmm.
the second time that they play the Bengals, that I think the series will be 1-1.
Okay.
But yeah, right now I can honestly see an AFC Championship game of Bills and Bengals, or AFC just a playoff matchup of Bills and
Yeah.
Bengals, and that'd be a game to watch.
Yeah, it would. And Joe Cool has that same mentality that Baker brought into the Browns. He's a winner, you know. He's a winner. And one thing that we thought was going to be troublesome for the Bengals this year on offense was that offensive line. And
Yeah.
I am giving them so much credit and so many props, man, because they deserve it. They deserve all the credit. They have been giving Joe time. And the only reason that Joe Burrow is able to throw 416 yards is because he's being protected this year.
Yeah. You know why I call Joe Burrow Joe Cool?
Why?
That was Joe Montana's nickname.
You think he's the next Joe Montana?
I wouldn't go that far, but I would like I do see if you watch their highlights, a lot of
Mm-hmm.
similarities. They're both just very poised. Neither of them are very mobile quarterbacks, but they're
Mm-hmm.
mobile enough to get the job done.
Get the job done. Yeah.
They both have very solid arms. I mean, Joe Montana is one of the best quarterbacks
Yeah.
in the history of the game of football. I'm not saying Joe Burrow is going to reach that level, but he
He
could.
could.
I mean,
Yeah, it's a possibility.
can't sell that guy short. But
I
Joe
think
Cool,
I think that if they win this, if they make it to the Super Bowl this year, I think that the percentage of him being on that level goes even higher.
yeah,
Um, a couple more what's ups I have for you, and then we'll keep moving on. What's up with the Chiefs?
I I've talked about it
You
in the
said, hold on,
past
time
couple of
out, time out, time out,
podcasts.
time out. You said they don't lose 2 or 3 more games the rest of this year, and they've lost 3, 2 or 3, 2 or 3.
Yeah,
So your
they've
prediction was
lost one
wrong.
game since I said that.
2, 2.
They've lost one.
The Titans, and you said it at the church, and they've lost to the Titans, and they've now lost to um who they just played yesterday.
The Titans.
Oh, and the Bills, and the Bills. They lost
Yeah.
to the Bills too.
All right. So
You said they
I
don't lose 2 or 3 more games,
I
and
stand corrected, but I still think that they could bounce back. I mean,
I don't know.
you can't count them out, man. I'm not
I don't
saying
know.
that they're gonna bounce back and win a Super Bowl. I'm just saying like I think they're gonna bounce back and finish with a positive record. But the problem is, I told you on the phone yesterday that
Yeah,
they try to overcomplicate the game of football.
yeah.
And I get that they have a star-studded offense. Tyreek Hill's the fastest receiver in the league. Travis Kelsey's probably one of the best route running tight ends in the league besides
Mm-hmm.
Darren Waller. You have Patrick Mahomes who can make plays at any given moment,
Any
but they're
moment.
overcomplicating it. Just simplify the game.
Mm-hmm.
Run plays. Teams are figuring out your trick plays, your
Yeah.
like misdirections, take take eyes off of Tyreek Hill and throw to Mecole Hardman and then hit Tyreek Hill 2 plays later. I mean, teams are starting to figure that out, and you just got to slow it down. I feel like the Chiefs are always trying to run like crazy plays to get
Mm-hmm.
on Sports Center, and I know that's not their goal, but I feel like they're so accustomed to running that flashy play style
Mm-hmm.
that that's what they go to now. And I
Yeah.
feel like they just need to simplify it back down to normal football. I mean, look at the Packers with Aaron Rodgers.
Simplest playbook out there.
It's very simple. I mean, it's basically just letting your quarterback make his reads and use
Mm-hmm.
his great arm to make
And
plays.
legs. And legs.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, the Packers do run some like tricky stuff every now and then, but it's not to the level of the Chiefs. I
Yeah.
mean, it's simple. A lot of the Packers offense is crossing routes to Devontae Adams.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think the Chiefs are shooting themselves in the foot.
And
It's an internal problem.
yeah,
It really is.
the pre-snap movement is great. Like you
Yeah.
need that sometimes to get the ball down the field to confuse the defense so that you can set up your plays. But you don't need it every play.
No. And they do it nearly every play.
Every single play. You've got either Tyreek Hill running behind the running back all the way on the other side, or you have Mecole Hardman doing the exact same thing the very next play on the opposite side of the field. Then you have so many people moving back and forth. And so then you're just like, okay, like this just it's honestly like tiring to watch
Yeah.
sometimes because
And
you're go ahead.
I think a big problem the Chiefs have is they have one of the toughest schedules in the NFL, undoubtedly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're going to test themselves in the regular season so that when playoff time comes, they're going to be better off, but they don't have a good defense.
Mm-mm.
I think we can all agree that they have decent players on their defense, but their defense is
Thornhill
not
and
good.
Tyron Matthew are basically the only people that
Yeah.
can hold that defense together when the
And on
ball gets to the second level.
yeah, you have a decent D line, but it's still I mean, I think their problem is the defense gets scored on
Mm-hmm.
and then the offense tries to play keep up
Yep.
and it just doesn't work because they're not poised when they get
Mm-hmm.
down, they look flustered. I don't
Very.
know if that's just me, but they
No,
look
very,
scared
very.
and flustered.
Yeah.
And it's because the Chiefs have not been used to losing for 3 or 4 seasons now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something Mahomes said is when you have a team like this, when you're trying to create a dynasty,
Yeah.
you're going to face those seasons. I mean, I'm pretty sure Tom Brady has had a rough stretch of games in his career at
He
some point
has.
or another.
But
And
what makes him great is he's been able to
he
come
bounced
back to
back.
those
Yep.
games.
So
Yeah.
we'll see if Mahomes doesn't bounce back the rest of this season,
Mm-hmm.
then we'll have to go from there. But right now, I'm not counting the Chiefs out, but they don't look like a Super Bowl team.
No. I'm pretty sure that the Buccaneers last year, they were 10-6 at the end of the regular season, weren't they?
Yeah, they weren't solid.
And they still came in down and won the game. So I mean, me personally, I have after the first game, I've said these Chiefs are questionable because if the Browns that first game, even if the so I'm trying to take my biased opinion about the Browns and move it away. So even the
Yeah.
Browns, if the Browns are a 4-3 team, they've lost a lot of close games. You can say that they're not that good and they're overrated. That team whooped the Chiefs until the fourth quarter, you know? So you can say that I've known that the Chiefs were shaky since that first game. I still think in every single game that they've played, they've had chances where they could win the game. But at the same time, I mean, they got blown out yesterday.
Yeah.
They 100% got blown out.
Yep.
And we were talking yesterday and we talked about, and I told you, I said, this Patrick Mahomes looks like the Patrick Mahomes from Texas Tech. And you said that you believe that it was the defense. And I said the defense shouldn't struggle him that much, because he played in the Big 12. So like playing catch up shouldn't be hard for him because when he played in the Big 12, he had to play catch up all the time,
Yeah, but the NFL is a whole different story.
And we said that too.
Yeah.
But it's like if you're used to playing catch up ball, like you know how to play the game while playing catch up. So I just feel like this team can't just say it's all the defensive problem. Like the offense has to take
Yeah. That's
some responsibility. And I
that's what I
think that
said.
responsibility starts with the offensive line
I
because
agree.
Texas Tech Pat Mahomes, that's really where the improvisation came from. So if you go back and you watch any of his Texas Tech days, he was extending plays 40, 50% of the time for Texas Tech, getting out of the pocket and trying to throw the ball downfield. And that's where he really learned that. And then that's a lot of what he's had to do when you look back at it his whole entire time at the Chiefs.
Hmm.
And now it's even more noticeable this year.
Yeah. I think, like I said, the Chiefs shoot themselves in the foot a lot.
Yeah,
If you watch it, Mahomes almost immediately rolls out of the pocket on
yeah.
most of their plays. And I think that he kind of makes his offensive line look bad. Like
I
maybe
feel
the
like he has
offensive
no
line,
trust in them.
yeah, and that's why he's just scurrying out of the pocket immediately.
Yeah.
And Mahomes is a smart quarterback. I mean, there's been many coaches, Bruce Arians and Byron Leftwich went to one of his workouts when it was like his draft year.
Mm-hmm.
And Bruce Arians and Byron Leftwich said that they were quizzing Mahomes and telling him to call out plays and like check linebackers and safeties. And he was just rattling off these like the phrases and stuff that the quarterbacks use.
Mm-hmm.
And Bruce Arians and Byron Leftwich both just looked at each other and said, that's stuff that it takes like solid quarterbacks 3 and 4 years to learn.
Wow.
And Mahomes is a smart quarterback, man. He just needs to play like it. Quit trying to play
Yeah.
hero ball.
Yeah. Yeah. But, and that's it's like I said at the church when we talked. I said Mahomes. This is going to come down to a couple things: big head and staying humble.
Mhm.
You know, and it's proven that quarterbacks that are paid a lot of money get a big head and then they can't perform.
Yep.
And so far, that statistic is being proven right now. This is statistically his worst year in the NFL. And even Brady has had off years. That's okay. But
Yeah.
like the money part of it, the big head, the humbleness. And then I also think that like it's affected him because every week that his brother has been in the media and played bad, and not played bad, but his brother's done something bad. He's ended up playing bad. And I know that we talked about it last week, and you're like, well, he's professional. I don't think it's really affecting him on the field. It might be affecting him on the field. It really
I
might.
still don't think it is.
Well, the next time something happens on TikTok, I'm gonna watch the Chiefs next week, and you'll be like, he played bad again, and we can talk about it on Monday. The last what's up, okay, is what's up with the Arizona Cardinals. Do you think
They're the best?
Do you think that they have a 100% guarantee to the playoffs?
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, even if they lost every game the rest of the year, they're still probably close to a wild card spot. And they're obviously not going to lose every game the rest of the
No,
season,
no.
barring injury.
Yeah,
But
knock on
right
wood.
now,
Hopefully, nothing bad
yeah,
happens to them.
right now their offense is, I mean, I don't even know what to say about
Unstoppable.
it.
Unstoppable.
It's like watching the Chiefs 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Hey, Kyler Murray is, I mean, people said that he was too small to be a good quarterback. He found a way around it. Uses his legs. He's got a cannon for an arm, no doubt about it.
Cannon.
And then they added Zach Ertz at tight end, who had a really nice touchdown
Yep.
grab yesterday. Showed the
Yep.
wheels off a little bit.
Yes, he did.
And they just have and guess what? When he caught that touchdown, every person on that offense went over and
And
patted him on the
congratulate him.
back and gave him a
Yeah.
hug.
Because
And they
he
welcomed
misses
him.
the Eagles.
Yeah, they welcome him in with open arms, and that's
Which is
because they
awesome.
know
That's a great culture.
it is. And not the Chiefs, but the Cardinals are reminding me a lot of the Chiefs 1 or 2 years
The
ago.
young Chiefs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
My,
I don't.
go ahead.
What
Go ahead.
what I fully expect to happen is the Chiefs, or not. I keep saying the Chiefs, man, but the Cardinals. When the Cardinals lose their first game, people are gonna say they're
They were.
overrated,
Yep.
they're overhyped.
Yep.
But I mean, for a team to go undefeated in the NFL is rare.
Mm-hmm. It is
So
rare.
they're gonna lose their games, but
Yep.
that doesn't count them out as a team. So
Mm-hmm. If I was a Cardinals fan, I would be saying I hope it's Thursday night. I hope that
yeah,
I lose to the Packers, and then after that, just absolutely set a fire down in my soul. So you know that the next time you do play them, you've already played them once, you lost, and you can get them back.
that's gonna be a great game.
Oh, it's
Thursday
this
night.
Thursday night. Yeah.
Great game, man. Oh.
I honestly, and it's so hard to pick against the Cardinals, and we can get into this if you want to talk about it for a little bit, but we don't have to. I want to pick the Green Bay Packers because Aaron Rodgers is playing so good right now, and their defense is playing so good right now, and I hope they win. But the reason I think that the Cardinals will win, and this is why I brought them up, because it's not really what's up with the Cardinals, it's what's up with Cliff Kingsbury. I am very, very, very proud of him and what he's done with the Cardinals. A lot
Yeah,
of people, just like Kyler Murray, thought that he was going to be awful in the NFL and that he wasn't going to do good. And I'm surprised. I didn't think he would incorporate over into an NFL scheme, being a college coach and not even being a great college coach. But
no, but
his
he's
second
always
year,
coached. He's coached some improvisers, man.
yep,
He's used to that type of quarterback.
yep,
Mahomes. Now he's got Kyler.
yeah. But
Like,
yeah, I think he's gonna get it together. I watched a video on TikTok today, and he's the first coach, I think, since the early 1900s, 1970 something. I think it was 1970 something. The last time that they went 7-0. It might not even been then, but it was a very, very long time. First time that they've been 7-0 as a football team. And that's just insane. Like to be one of the second coach ever for the Cardinals to have a 7-0 start.
yeah,
So big props for him, and I'm excited for what they do the rest of the season.
yeah. If they beat the Packers, or they if they beat the Packers Thursday night, they have to be the unanimous decision for the best team in the league. And I know they
Oh
kind
yeah,
of are right now, but if they beat the Packers, it's
yeah.
I mean they might as well just be a surefire shot to the NFC Championship if they
I,
stay healthy.
I was getting ready to say the exact same thing because if you look at the rest of their schedule, it's almost a guaranteed win.
Yep. But can they weather the storm? That's the question, man.
Who knows? And the one thing is staying humble
And
while
staying
you win.
healthy.
Humble and healthy. Double H. Because I mean, even if they lose, I still think they're the number one team. Because if you look at all the teams that they've beaten so far, they've beaten some really good teams. Browns to name one, the Rams to name another. Like they've beaten really good teams that are like considerably top
Titans.
10 teams. The Titans
The
and
Titans.
the Titans have beaten the Bills and the Chiefs, but lost to the Jets. So
Yeah.
any given
So it's weird, man.
any
It's
given
so weird.
Sunday in the NFL. Do you have any what's ups that you want to talk about? What's going on in the NFL?
Yeah, I've
Okay, go
actually
ahead.
got something that came to mind.
Okay.
So last week I talked, and one of my life's too short to check down things was I think that the Colts come out on top of their division.
Yeah, I'm liking that a lot. Oh, there was only one stupid bad play that I saw Carson Wentz make last night. And
Yeah, he
and
tried
you
a shovel pass, but it got tipped out of his hand, to
yeah,
be fair.
and that ball was soaking wet and it was
Yep,
like a torrential downpour the whole
yep.
entire game. So like I understand that. The only dumb play I saw him make. Other than that, the Colts looked great. Mo Alley Cox
Yeah,
is the
he's
real
played.
deal.
I said it. Yeah, I've said it for years, dude. He played power forward at VCU,
That's
and
insane.
when Shaka Smart coached there,
Oh wow, I didn't
and
know that.
he was a tank on the basketball court.
Wow.
And if you ever wondered
Hmm.
how basketball players transition into playing tight end in the NFL,
Pretty
look at
well.
Tony Gonzalez.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying Mo Alley Cox is like Tony Gonzalez,
No,
but I mean,
I
it
think it's a
helps.
different style of tight end.
Yeah, when you're in the end zone, just throw
Yeah,
it up to the big guy every
that's jump
time.
ball.
But let's talk about Michael Pittman Jr.
Poor freaking T.Y. Hilton. There's no need really for him to come back.
Dude, Pittman Jr., 3 receptions, 100 some yards, touchdown, mossed the crap out of a defender to
Yep.
ice the game.
Yep.
I've drafted him in fantasy this year. I've been keeping up with him since he was in his college days at
Mm-hmm.
USC. I watch his YouTube
YouTube
channel.
channel. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a great dude,
Great guy.
humble guy, loves the Lord, loves his family, plays the game of football extremely well.
Extremely well.
I
And
think he's got
humbly.
yeah, he's got the upside of like a Larry Fitzgerald type of receiver
Mm-hmm.
where he's got the big stature.
Yeah. He's not
He's
even
super
big, like
fast.
big wise. His
Yeah, he's
arms are just so
super long.
long.
He's like 6'2", 6'3".
Yeah.
He's a go getter on the football field. He loves
Yeah, he
those
is.
jump balls, and the Colts need to take advantage of that.
Yes. And the one thing that I've noticed this year is that like he hardly ever goes into the double digits ranges of catches.
Oh no,
He has a general range of like 3 to 7 catches per game, but he's almost every single week has 100 reception yards.
yeah, it's because he's a deep threat, and
Dude,
he
he's one of the
probably
best deep
averages
threats.
he probably averages 150-yard catch a game.
100%. Yeah, he's clutch. I also think that Jonathan Taylor has to be in the conversation of top 5 running backs this year.
Yeah,
Um, and
TK's trying to get him from me in fantasy right now.
TK's trying to take him from you. Oh no, TK. Um, but I don't even think that either of us had him in our top 5 this year, did we?
Not to start the season.
Right now, though, he deserves to be in the top 5,
Yeah,
if not top
easily.
3. He's had a tremendous year. And I heard a stat either last Monday when they played the Ravens or last night that every single year that he's been in the NFL so far, he has been in the top 3 for running backs with receiving touchdowns and running touchdowns and yardage. So, I mean, I'll be personally honest. I've slept on this guy, and he's good. Like he's really good. Like he needs to be in the conversation with um, Nick Chubb and Alvin Kamara and Dalvin Cook and Christian McCaffrey and Derrick
Yep.
Henry. And this is me being personally honest. I think he's a better running back right now than Saquon Barkley.
See, I don't know whether to agree or
Stats.
disagree. It is stats, and here's the thing: I think right now he is,
Mm-hmm.
but when Saquon was in his prime, and that's sad to say, man, because Saquon should
He's
be in his
young.
prime
He
right
should
now,
be. Yeah.
and I think Saquon's going to be one of those players that was
Yeah.
hyped up in college, has a great rookie year, shows
Tremendous.
flashes. Everybody says that he's still got it. He's still got the chance. But I don't know if Saquon will ever
Be where
do
he
what
was
some of
supposed to
these
be
other
at.
running backs are doing. Because right
Yeah.
now, the level that Saquon started at, he should be a top 3 back in the league, and he's not
100%.
even top 7.
I don't think he's top 10. I can name 3 or 4 more
He's on the
that are better
fringe.
than him.
He's on the fringe. But Jonathan Taylor right now is better. I'd take him over Saquon Barkley.
This sun just came out, scared me.
I'm taking
But I
I'm
would too.
taking Taylor over Barkley every day.
I think the Colts possibly make it to the playoffs. I still
I said that they could finish on top of their division, and I really think they could.
I still think the Titans are probably the best team in that division,
I
though.
agree. I agree.
I think Titans win that division as of right now. And they've beaten 2 of the best teams in the last couple of years, back to back. So if they're still on a roll and Derrick Henry's still putting up the numbers and he has another 2,000-yard year, you got to put him in the MVP conversation. MVP can't just be go ahead.
If he gets another 2,000-yard season, then he's in the conversation for top 10 running backs of all time.
Yeah.
Because that's rare. That is rare.
I mean, he's on pace to do it. I mean, he is on pace to do it. He's still 200 yards ahead of everyone else. So you got any more what's ups, or you want to go ahead to the NBA?
We can go ahead and jump into the NBA, but I definitely do think the Colts sneak into the wild card spot.
Oh,
I
agree.
Pace up.
I
If they
agree.
can keep this pace up.
I think they need to go on a couple runs and get a couple wins in a row to boost their confidence, because I think this is the best that we've seen Carson Wentz since the year that he played with the Eagles that they went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He's just not getting credit for it. Even with 2 sprained ankles, I mean, he's still playing great, and he still looks good. I mean,
he does.
And I think he deserves a little bit more credit.
Yeah,
So,
and I would like to formally apologize to the man, because at the beginning of the season, we were both throwing some hate on him.
A little bit. A little bit, yeah.
It wasn't hate on him as a person, because he's a
No,
great guy.
he's a great man.
He's always had the potential to be a great player, but he just has never. I mean, since that like MVP caliber season he had in Philly.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't show anything else after that, but now he's finally regaining it. So good for him.
So, your team is the Celtics. You already called me out saying that I was a Nets fan. Your boys are the Celtics.
Yep.
And this is really just an outlook, because we can do some predictions on another day. I know you said that you wanted to try to get Adam on here to do predictions. I'm gonna give my 2 favorite teams to watch right now, and then you can give a couple teams that you like to watch right now. The number 1 team I think is everybody's favorite team right now, and that's the Bulls. I'm happy to see the Bulls be the Bulls again. I'm happy to see jumping out of the gym, slamming the ball in the hoop, having some electricity to the name of the Bulls again. And I love seeing people actually get behind Alex Caruso. I mean, he's not a bad ball player at all.
No.
And he can play defense. I mean, he looks like he's out there trying to win another ring. I mean, every single loose ball he is literally diving for. And Lonzo Ball is playing probably the best that he's played so far in the NBA. And we talked about that yesterday. And then for a point guard, bro, he got up there and he stuffed. I don't remember who it was at the rim, bro. It was a nice block. and he jumped with him and stayed there. And then the next team, who, if you would have talked about this preseason, I said, no, they'll be the worst in their conference. The Timberwolves, Carl, Cat, and Ants, that the two little animal names. They're gonna have a great year together, and I think that the Timberwolves can sneak in at the last spot and make it in to the playoffs. This is the second year of their new coach, and they have had one of the best offensive percentages for any team when they fired their head coach last year, and they brought in their new one, and his name just slipped the top of my tongue. But once he took over operations for the Timberwolves,
Isn't it Sanders or something like that?
I don't know. Let me just look it up.
But I do agree with you on the Timberwolves for sure. I mean, Karl Anthony Towns, that guy's gone through a lot the past
Chris
couple years.
Finch.
Oh, okay.
Finch.
Nice.
But yeah, he took over for their old head coach, and ever since he came in, he has basically been one of the best offensive minds in the NBA, and I think that they'll go pretty far. I don't think they're going to be one of the top teams like the Warriors are. I think the Warriors actually maybe eventually, but I think the Warriors quite possibly have a chance at winning their division. But other than that, those are the two teams that I've really enjoyed watching so far. And we can talk a little bit more about NBA, but those are the two things that I wanted to bring up really quick was the Bulls and the Timberwolves. What about you? And you're going to say the Bulls.
I would say the Bulls, and I said it before the preseason even started. When they acquired Lonzo Ball and DeMar DeRozan, I knew that team was going to be for real because even last year, they were still a decent team.
With Zach LaVine.
Zach LaVine is super underrated, criminally underrated. Kobe White is not healthy for the Bulls right now. But when he comes back, that's another option at point guard. You could splatoon him and Caruso because I would be keeping Lonzo on the floor.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of bias towards Lonzo because I've been a large supporter of the Ball family ever since they came onto the scene. I love Lonzo Ball. LiAngelo was my favorite. I wish that he could get a legit shot, but I mean, it is what it is. LaMelo's doing his thing, but
he's doing his thing well.
Yeah. Lonzo is probably a top 3 favorite player in the league for me, and he has been even since he was on the Lakers. Because who doesn't want a 6'6" lengthy defensive point guard who's going to go out and get you steals and facilitate well. Yeah, and he doesn't shoot any crazy shots. He shoots the shots that come naturally to him. And he can get up.
Yeah,
he can get up.
Yeah. Let me see if I can pull that up. So then other than the Bulls, who else are you excited to watch?
The Sacramento Kings.
Really?
They have Mr. Off Night Davion Mitchell. He has clamped up Paul George, Damian Lillard. He didn't really clamp up Steph, but he did get a couple steals on Steph.
Because I think Steph will be MVP this year, in my opinion.
If he keeps healthy.
Yes. But why? Other than that, why the Kings?
Why the Kings? De'Aaron Fox is a special player, in my opinion.
Who's highly underrated as well. There's a lot of underrated guys in the NBA. I think there's more underrated athletes in the NBA than any other sport because there's more underrated athletes in the NBA because the NBA really is like the name team, like the Lakers, the Nets, the Celtics, like whatever your big name star is, that's who you're going to watch on a weekly basis. And then you forget about the kids. Well, they're not really. Well, they are kids. Like they're our age right now playing in the NBA.
Yeah.
And like you forget about them, and they're on these teams, and they're absolutely nasty.
But yeah, I mean, the Kings, and other than the Kings, the Rockets.
Did you see that shot that he had the other night?
Jalen Green, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, Jalen Green had a 30 ball against the Celtics last night, and he is jumping out of the gym, as we all know he can.
Yeah.
But the craziest thing is he's like 20 years old. He's literally our age. Like he's 19, 20 years old, and he's competing out here against NBA veterans, and he looks decent.
Yeah, he does. Can you see this?
Yeah, I can.
Okay.
For you. Let's go, Iron! And then good hustle. Hands, everybody's digging for the basketball here. Watch Lonzo. Man, you forgot I'm 6'6". Don't bring that weak stuff in here, boy. It's a block party. Make sure you get the invitation. Get it out of here.
That's on a center.
He said, get it out of here. Dude, I didn't know Lonzo was 6'6".
Yeah, he's not a small guy. And then you got LaMelo's 6'7".
Okay, so
Angelo is like 6'5".
Poor Angelo. He got a chance.
He needs his shot to play in it. He did well in the summer league. That's what
great.
He's a shooter.
He is a shooter. I think he'll be on a team at some point.
If anybody gives him a chance, man, because I think he really could.
I think they will. Those were pretty quick. I thought we were talking about them a little bit longer. Two people that you are looking forward to watch this year. Mine is Steph Curry, because I think that he has quite possibly a chance to win MVP. If Clay does not come back until the end of the season, I think it's a 100% sure lock that he wins MVP. If Clay comes back sooner than later, my money is on Kevin Durant, because he has the quickest to 100 points of his whole entire career so far. So he is playing at a level that he has not played yet, which is scary to think about, because he is, in my opinion, top 3 in the NBA right now. So he is playing at the best level that he has ever played at. He has scored 100 points in a season as quick as possible. So watch out for him in the Nets. It's going to be a crazy year. The whole Kyrie situation, since he's not back, we don't got to get into that, because that's just a whole entire different debate and topic. But since Kyrie's not going to be playing, Kevin Durant is going to be picking it up and absolutely balling out.
Yep.
And MVP year, in my opinion. Two people you're excited to watch. Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum.
I'm not going to say that just because the Celtics are my favorite team, but
yeah.
I mean, that's just, it's a tough thing to say, because I don't want to say any of the like mainstream players that everybody sees on SportsCenter every morning.
Oh, so you're trying not to be like me?
I'm trying not. Kind of, but
I mean, those two people are like, they're good, solid picks. I mean, Steph Curry's balling out. He's already had multiple 40-point games.
All right, I would say
LeBron James.
No.
LeBron.
Right. I'm sticking with Jason Tatum, because he's had a rough start to the season.
Yeah.
And I think he'll regain
bounce back.
his confidence or whatever, because he hasn't been shooting the 3-ball well. But he put on probably 20 pounds of muscle in the offseason.
And you can tell.
And my second player, I would say Lonzo, but we already talked about him. So
yeah,
I'm gonna say,
I don't think Lonzo can win MVP. Well, this isn't an MVP conversation, just that you're excited to watch him.
Yeah. Devin Booker.
I love D-Book. I do too. Can I change one of my answers? Instead of KD's my favorite player, so I'll scratch that, since you said Lonzo's your favorite player and you don't want to kind of be like that. I cannot wait to see Klay Thompson get back on the court. I told you this yesterday. He has not played a game of basketball since Kawhi Leonard was a Raptor. Russell Westbrook was on the Thunder. And there's one other crazy stat. Kevin Durant was still a Warrior. So That's how long it's been. Oh, and Kyrie Irving was still a Celtic.
Yeah, that is insane.
And that was the last time that he's played a game of basketball. He is probably the number one person I'm looking forward to, because as soon as he hits his first three, Oracle Arena is going to lose their mind, and he's going to get so hyped. And he's now rocking a headband, which is pretty dope, and I like that. So I'm excited to see him play. Big Clay. Man, we might have to go to an NBA game. We're going to an NFL game. You might have to. Well, that is all we have for you guys today. We were talking, hopefully we can get some kids from the West Virginia area on for basketball this year. Football season's kind of ended. I wish we would have been doing this before. Maybe we could have gotten some high school guys on here from the football team to talk. But hopefully we can get some basketball kids on here. We also want to get Braden on here before Wesleyan has their debut. And we also want to get our buddy from the Hoops Across the Mountain State podcast. Look that up. Taylor Kennedy. Get him on here. That man knows basketball more than anybody that you can think of. But Lenny, tell them where they can find us at, and let's sign off.
Yep, the usual. Apple Podcast, Spotify, YouTube, and Anchor.
Yes, sir. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, share it with your mother, share it with your brother, and share it with your great-grandmother. So
share it with the world.
Look at these beautiful faces. We're just trying to share some smiles, and we love sports. Yeah, it's an escape from the real world. Even though we have college going on in real life, it's a great way for us to say, you know what, let's focus on the sports world, and we'll take care of the rest of it throughout the week. We hope that this brings a smile to your face, and we hope that you'll stay tuned as we talk more about hopefully all kinds of different things in different sports. Thanks for checking us out. We'll see you. Peace, everybody. Lenny hit him with the